Hello guys and welcome back to another video. Today I'm coming at you with a day in the life at camp video. Now I have filmed videos like this before, but I always love redoing them and just revisiting how a day at camp actually looks. And one thing to remember is that every camp is going to be slightly different when it comes to a schedule, a day in the life. This is just going off what my schedule is like at my camp on a day-to-day basis, but if yours is very different, please leave it down below in the comments, because I always find it so interesting talking to different people about different camps and just figuring out how it is different to mine. This is always a really good thing to ask when you're interviewing with camps, is just to ask for a bit of detail on what a standard day looks like at camp, and it's a really good way to just kind of find out a little bit more about that camp and how their schedule is ran. But yeah, to put into perspective, I work at Tyler Hill Camp in Pennsylvania. I've spent 5 summers there, going for my 6th summer next year, which is crazy to think. And we follow a schedule, like a weekly schedule. So each summer our schedule will be completely different and we mix it up. We have different things. We base off what the kids have enjoyed the year before. Obviously every division is going to be slightly different. Some might prefer different sports, some might want to have different things included. So we always do our best to tailor the schedule to that group of kids, just so they get the most out of their summer and they're doing activities they really love, and yeah, just trying to prioritize what they actually want to do whilst they're at camp. One thing to always bear in mind though, and I tell everyone this, is that no 2 days at camp are ever going to be the same. Even though on paper all of our Tuesdays, for example, are the exact same at Tyler Hill, no 2 Tuesdays will ever be the same at camp. And even if you're following the exact same schedule, the exact same structure, something still pops up that means it goes a little bit differently, or something happens that you just have to think on your feet and things just change, and that is just camp. So prepare for it to be very organised, but also organised chaos in a way I like to describe it as, because camp is such an unpredictable environment and you never know what's going to come up, you never know what's going to happen in a day, and you might be pulled somewhere else, you might have a group of kids that need to go somewhere else, and it just kind of changes. So you do have to think on your feet, so definitely bear that in mind. But yeah, I always say, like, that's what I love about camp, is how you can wake up one day and even though you know you've got soccer period 1, you don't know what's going to happen, because things can just change at camp, and that is just how it is. So definitely prepare yourself for that. Get used to the fact that you will have to think on your feet with certain things, and you might have half of your division off at a basketball tournament, so you're left with other half with some of the counsellors and you have to think of a different activity to do. Like, it's fun. You can kind of make it your own as well where possible and involve some fun games, do some fun things. But yeah, we do follow a structure, and we have 5 periods in a day, and the structure is all laid out for us. We normally stick it up on the back of the bunk, just on like a laminated piece of paper, and that's there so we know what we are doing on all of those periods. But for example, when we have one of our big event days come around, like, that means the whole schedule is completely different. Or when 4th of July is coming up, or we're practicing for Girls Sing, so much happens that changes the whole structure of the day. So we have something to follow, but we don't always end up following it because things happen. Okay, that's a little ramble there, but I'm just gonna jump straight into literally going off what a day at camp looks like. I might try, do I wanna do this? I don't know how this is gonna look. I might try and include some clips as if I'm going through a day, so how it goes. I mean, we'll see how this goes. I may just chat through things and go. I'll see when I'm editing it if I like the look of it. But yeah, so basically on a standard day at camp, we wake up at 8 AM. 8 AM is pretty standard across the board for us to wake up, and that's when Reveille will go off. So as counsellors, you're expected to kind of be awake 10-15 minutes early just to get yourself ready for the day, just because you can only imagine, like, if you're trying to get however many kids, I don't know, 14 kids out of bed, but you're still in bed in your pajamas, just imagine that never works. So we always encourage the counsellors to literally just be out the bed. It can literally be as simple as that. Be on the floor, be ready to wake the kids up. I always loved waking up like 15 minutes before to get ready, like get dressed for the day, because after breakfast, I'll get onto this, but when you come back and get the kids ready, you don't want to be getting yourself ready as well, because it can get a bit chaotic. So yeah, I would always recommend waking up a little bit before the kids do. Your camp will probably direct you on what to do and when to wake up, that kind of thing. But yeah, 10-15 minutes before, counsellors would wake up, and then when Reveille goes off, that's when you can turn the lights on, you can start waking the kids up, and then literally from there we roll out of the bunk, the kids stay in their pajamas, and we go to lineup. Now we have a divisional lineup and a like full girls side lineup, and the same on boys side. So a divisional lineup is just where we literally go over things for the division for that day. So it could be that we've got, I don't know, a tennis tournament coming up, or I've got 3 of the girls that maybe have something on, or different things, just whatever is specific to that division. And then when we have a girls side lineup, that is just when we talk about the whole announcements, like big camp announcements. So any exciting events coming up, what the meals are for the day, any birthdays, and yeah, it's really fun to just gather everyone together. And when we have a birthday, we they have to skip around the pole and we sing this like girls side happy birthday chant, and it is really fun. And then from there we will go into breakfast. So we normally stagger it slightly, literally by like 5-10 minutes. So lower camp will go into breakfast first and then upper camp will go in after, just so we're not all going into the dining hall at the same time, because as you can imagine, it can get a little bit crazy in there. And we have close to like 800-900 people going into the dining hall, which is crazy to think. Like when you see it, you're like, oh, how does this many people fit in here? But they do, and it is actually so much fun. And yeah, the dining hall is a loud place. It is, but it's very exciting as well. So yeah, we'll go into breakfast, and there will normally be kind of, for breakfast, we normally, like, it's family style kind of. So we have a platter of whatever food is on that day, like on the tables, but then there's also things for the kids to go and grab, like if they want cereal, if they want like yogurt and granola, if they want fruit, there's a toaster, toast machine, all of that good stuff. So yeah, there's kind of a lot of different options for you to choose from for breakfast, which is great. And then when the kids are finished with breakfast, you'll go back to the bunk and they'll start getting ready for the day. Obviously, depending on the age group of kids that you have, will depend on how this kind of looks. Obviously, the older kids will just get themselves ready. Like, they're very much self-sustainable in that they'll know that they need to brush their teeth and put on their sun cream and get dressed and have the right appropriate athletic wear for whatever activity we're doing. Obviously, the younger kids will need a little bit more support with that, with getting themselves ready and tying their shoelaces and putting their sunscreen on. So yeah, that is just kind of, I think it's like an hour-ish. Our first activity starts at around 10 a.m. And if you're a specialist activity counsellor, you would head off to your area maybe like 10-15 minutes before activities start, just to make sure you're all set up and you have everything you need and you're all good to go. You know what you're doing for that activity and you know what kids you have coming down to you. And yeah, as a general counsellor, you obviously stick with your same group of kids the entire day. And yeah, as 10 o'clock rolls around, you'll be ready to go out and get on with first activity. And we always have like an announcement go over the speakers, and it will just be like activity call, and that's just so you know, right, we're on our way now, we're going off to activity. And this could literally be anything. So like I said, we have 5 activity periods and they're 50 minutes long, and they will either be a actual scheduled activity period or an elective. So an elective at my camp is just where the kids get to choose what they want to do in that period. And it's always really nice and it's fun. The kids get to decide where they want to go, and the younger kids normally have more electives per day. The older kids, I think, have like maybe like 1 elective every 2 days maybe. Again, it will all just vary slightly depending on the age group of kids you have, just because they have different things on. But yeah, an elective is where we literally just sit all the kids down and we read off the elective call sheet, like what activities are open that period. So it could be water skiing, rock wall, cooking, gymnastics, fishing, and then we will literally just say what is open, and then there'll be a number of like how many kids we can send off to that activity. And then yeah, we just kind of say, who wants to go to water ski? Someone will be like, me, and then a counsellor takes them down. And yeah, that's kind of how electives work. And like I said, that'll be in with some other scheduled activity periods. So basketball, soccer, tennis, gymnastics, dance, for example, are like scheduled activities, and that will be that whole division goes down to the activity, and it's more of like a set scheduled thing. Obviously all the kids have to go. It's not like the electives where they get to choose which one they want to go to. So yeah, that's kind of how the day goes. And we honestly, I just love the activities. The activities are so much fun, and all the specialists obviously down at the activities have things planned for the kids to do, and just so you're ready to go. So when you get down there, it all runs smoothly. And I mean, not always, obviously something can always happen that makes you go a bit like, what's going on? But one thing to remember, that even as a general counsellor, most of the times, unless you're told not to, you'll be expected to join in and help with these activities. That is what is such a fun part about being a general counsellor, is that you are there to join in. You're not there to go down to dance and sit in the corner and just let the dance specialists teach all the kids. Like, get involved and join in, and that is something that will make your days feel so much more fun, and it gives the kids so much more excitement to actually get stuck in and just go for it. But yeah, sorry, went off on a bit of a tangent there. But yeah, first activity period, 50 minutes long, so runs from like 10 to 10:50, and then we have like a 10-minute interval in between activities, just to give the kids time to get to the next place if they need to go back to the bunks to maybe, I don't know, change their shoes or put a bathing suit on, and then get off to the next one. We have 10 minutes there. So we also have recall that blows over the megaphones, which is like when the activity is over, you can head back to the bunk if you need to, and then get ready for the next activity. And we have 2 activity periods in the morning. So our second activity period finishes just before 12 o'clock, and then everyone kind of heads back to the bunk, and lower camp go in for lunch around 12:15, and upper camp will go in around 12:30. And in this time, we normally just hang out in the bunks, maybe go on a quick walk, just like chill before going into lunch. And then yeah, we'll get called into lunch, everyone will go in and eat, and then after lunch we have rest hour, which I always say is one of my favourite parts of the day. It's such nice chill downtime with the kids, and you can still go out and do stuff. You can still go out and play games. My kids would love going on walks. Like one summer they were really into rollerblading, so we take them rollerblading for a little bit, or just go and sit down somewhere, get outside, or literally just take a nap if you want to. Like my first summer at camp, the kids were so into like spa days, so we'd do like facials and skincare and massages and hair. So it just kind of depends on what the kids want to do in that rest hour. I definitely try and encourage them to try and rest if they need it, because doing 5 activity periods back to back is a lot, and then also not taking the hour in the middle to chill can also mean that the kids are exhausted. You normally find the first couple of weeks the kids are like go go go, they're like wanting to go out, do everything, and as it gets a little bit later on into the summer, the rest hours really are used for rest. And one summer I would just put spa music on and some of the kids would just fall straight to sleep, and it wasn't like they needed it. It was nice to just have that downtime where they could relax if they needed to. And yeah, so rest hour I think finishes at around 1:45, and then we have, actually I think it finishes just before, and then the third activity starts at 1:45, and then we run until, not me trying to work out my maths, maybe I'll try and get my schedule up if I still have it. I don't know why I didn't do this beforehand. I definitely have a picture of it somewhere. Oh, I found it, that was easy. Okay, I was spot on. Yeah, so rest hour is 1:45. No, sorry, period 3 starts at 1:45 and runs till 2:40. And then we have snack at 2:45, which can literally just be anything. We have someone pull up outside the dining hall, and it can either be ice creams or ice lolls, or there's always fruit, normally some chips. Yeah, and it's just the time for the kids to go and grab something to eat, because it's been a little while since lunch, and obviously waiting till dinner is a long time. We don't have dinner till like gone 6 o'clock, so we have a little snack time in the middle, which literally lasts like 15 minutes, but it does break up the afternoon quite nicely. And then we go straight into period 4, which starts at 3 o'clock, and then again, like I say, you have that little 10 minutes, and then period 5 starts at 4 o'clock and finishes at 5, and then literally that's the activities done for the day. And you'll find then, obviously, if you're a general counsellor, you'll take all the kids back to the bunk, and shower hour starts at 5 o'clock, so that's when the kids will, and you, if you have time, can jump in the shower and get yourselves ready for dinner. And then specialist counsellors will, once they're finished packing away their areas and what they need to do there, they will also head back to help with shower hour as well. So one thing at my camp is that you are still a general counsellor, even if you're a specialist, which I think is so nice. You literally just spend your 5 activity periods at your area. Other than that, you're a general counsellor. Literally, you wake up with the kids, you get them ready, you help at meal times, you help with shower hour, evening activity, dinner time, all of that good stuff. So yeah, that's kind of how that works. So then 5 o'clock, like I say, is shower hour. The kids will always shower first. We normally have like a job chart in the bathrooms or in the bunk where it works out the shower order. So each day we rotate the jobs around, which rotates the shower order around, just so that obviously there's minimal arguing if possible, just with like getting the kids showered and ready for the evening. And I always like to wake up and go in the shower in the morning, but sometimes the showers can be really loud, so you do have to watch with if you're like waking people up. So normally there will always be time to shower after the kids. They're normally in and out of the shower, and then they're getting ready for dinner and any evening activity that we might have on. Like we might have done like a theme for something, like a blackout theme or tight and bright or jerseys or something that is themed, so they will have to get ready into the outfit. But if it's just a normal day, they'll just literally get changed into something comfy, normally like a sweatshirt and shorts or sweatpants, just something nice and chill. And then we normally have evening lineup at around 6:15. Again, this is a girls side lineup and a boys side lineup, and we just go over any last details for the day, if we've got anything exciting on the evening, and bear in mind, in the morning we raise the flag, and then in the evening we lower the flag. So that's kind of, again, for lineup. I completely forgot to mention that earlier. And then from there we will go into dinner, and it will normally be, again, like staggered by like 5-ish minutes, just so it's not crazy in there. And yeah, dinner times are so fun, and I find the most chaotic and noisy in the dining hall. I don't know why, whether it's because for dinner, like the kids normally like tend to sit and eat dinner a little bit longer than they do for breakfast and lunch. I'm not too sure, but dinner time in the dining hall is always crazy and so exciting. And then yeah, normally from there the kids will head back to the bunk, and depending on the age group you have, it depends on how the whole rest of the evening goes. So for example, if you have the younger kids, you'll normally go straight from dinner to your evening activity. Evening activity is normally really quite early when you have the younger kids, just because their bedtime's obviously a lot earlier. And then from their evening activity, they will normally go up to canteen, which is like the social hangout spot, and they get to just kind of chill with everyone up there. And then yeah, from canteen, it's normally head back to bed. And like I said, with the older kids, it would normally just be a little bit later. So after dinner, we would normally go back and hang out at the bunks. Again, the kids might want to go for a little walk, just go out and do some bits and bobs around camp and just have a chill. And we, like this past summer, we would start our evening activity at probably like 8, half 8. And then normally try and run an evening activity for an hour, so like till 9:30, and then the kids would normally head up to canteen like 9:30, 9:45, and then have an hour up at canteen, and then their curfew would be, I think it was 10:45. I can't remember, I've literally just been at camp and there's so many of these things that I just go straight out of my head. But yeah, the kids have to be back at the bunks for curfew, and then they just kind of chill, get themselves ready for bed. And it's nice to have just like, take the evenings easy. My girls this last year would like come back and then do their skincare routine and get into their pajamas, just kind of chill and chat with their friends, which when you think about it, must be such an exciting part of the day for them as kids. Like, I can't even imagine if I was in a bunk with all of my best friends just getting ready for the night, like putting on matching pajamas. Like, it is just a sleepover all summer long, and it's just so much fun. But yeah, and then we would normally have like a lights out time kind of agreed at the start of the summer. And it is always really important to stick to that and make sure that it's like, you stick with it, otherwise the lights out keeps getting pushed further and further back. Yeah, so I think we had lights out at maybe like 11:15, so 30 minutes after curfew, just to give the kids time to just like chill out with each other, to debrief about the whole day and just catch up. And then yeah, we normally have lights out at 11:15, but that doesn't always mean obviously go to sleep at 11:15. We would give the kids like flashlight time if they wanted to. They would be able to like stay up and read a book or write letters. Some of the kids would just be like lying in bed whispering with their friends. Yeah, we always normally just try and say like, once we've got lights out, like just be mindful that there's other people trying to go to sleep. I always said to my girls, like, I don't care what time you go to bed, like stay up all night if you want to, but don't keep other people awake, because there's other people that do want to go to sleep, and 9 times out of 10 they're going to go to sleep early as well anyway, because they are tired from the day. Like, the days are exhausting, and also if they don't sleep or they go to sleep crazy late, they're just going to be so tired the next morning. So yeah, it does kind of work, just works out really well, and the days are so fun. And like I said, it will be towards the end of the summer that you find that the kids are putting themselves to bed, like without even needing the reminder of like, right girls, come on, let's get into your own beds, let's go to sleep. Like, they will be tucking themselves in and going to bed because they're just tired, and like camp is exhausting. And I want to say by the time you get to like week 5 maybe, like everyone is just like straight asleep, fast asleep. But yeah, that is kind of how a day at camp works. If you're a counsellor that has a night off at my camp, your night off starts at 9:30. So again, depending on the age group of your kids, you might leave camp at a different time. When 9:30 rolled around, my kids were still just chilling in the bunk. It was just before we'd go up to canteen, so the kids were still there. Whereas if you had a lower age group, you would be just like, the kids would probably be asleep before you left. So yeah, it kind of depends on when you would be leaving. At my camp, you always just need to give your division leader or other counsellors a heads up, like, oh, like, is it okay if I go back? I've got my night off now. And then yeah, your night off runs from 9:30 till 12:30, and then you're back on duty as soon as you're back in the bunk. And if you don't have a night off, you're just with the kids until they go to bed, and then you wake up and do it all again the next day. But yeah, like I said, the next day is never going to be the same, and something always happens, something exciting, something going on. So yeah, it always just kind of changes day by day, but that is what makes camp so fun. It is a very unpredictable environment, like I said. I personally thrive in those kind of environments. I love the fact that I have no idea what's going on day by day, even though we do have that structure that we follow. That's what's so funny about camp, is it is such a, you do have a routine, but it's the furthest thing from a routine. That sounds so silly to say, but when you finish camp, you then realise how nice it is to kind of have a time when you wake up and then you either go to work or you do something. Like, it's nice to follow that kind of structure, because it's so different from a camp structure. Even though it is so scheduled, it just feels like there's no routine. If you've been to camp before, you'll know what I mean, just because it's just so random, but also so fun as well. Like, my routine at camp is my favourite kind of routine to have, just because it's so busy. Like I always say, the days are long, but they go by so fast. Like, the weeks fly in, and it's absolutely crazy that all of a sudden you're like, oh, we've got 10 days left. Like, it goes by so quickly. So yeah, make sure you never take a day at camp for granted, because it does go by so quickly, and then before you know it, you'll literally be at home and you'll be wanting to be anywhere but home. You'll want to be back at camp. So yeah, it gets me so excited talking about this, like daily life at camp. I'm just like, I want to go back. I was literally saying earlier as well, like, this is the first year after camp that I've been so ready to go back to camp so soon. I think because I've had an incredible summer at camp every year, but this summer just gone, I don't know what was in the water, but it was absolutely insane. Like, literally had the best time, and now I'm itching to go back. And normally I'm like glad to have a couple of months of like normality and been in a normal, like I said, routine, and just like getting on with life. But I'm like, I could go back. Like I could literally go back right now. But me and like a lot of my friends felt like that whilst we were at camp. We were like, we could do the whole summer over, like from the last day of camp. We could go again. And normally you are very ready to leave. And sometimes you are, like it's normal to be like, okay, like I'm ready for my own bed, I'm ready for my own space. And that's so normal, but I'm so excited for next year. And normally it takes me to like, maybe like the new year before I can fully think about camp, just because I've got so much going on normally. But now I'm just like, I just want to go back. And I think because now I like do camp full time virtually, like I'm really lucky that I've got into this kind of camp like lifestyle bubble to do all year round, which is amazing. It just makes me want to go all the time though. And because I'm constantly like putting out camp videos or doing camp interviews, I'm like, okay, is it time to go back now? But yeah, it's very exciting and I just can't wait. If any of you have any questions about any of the camp process, please leave them down below or send me a message over on Instagram and I'll be more than happy to help. But I hope everyone's excited or getting excited or just starting to have a think about the camp process if you are thinking about going to camp next year, because I know it can be overwhelming. I know there's a lot of information out there. So please just take it easy, research where you can and just be excited about it, because it is such an exciting thing to be doing, and the experience, like I will always say, has been the best thing that I've ever done. And I love that so many of you are like looking to do this for the first time next year. That honestly brings me more joy than like knowing people are going to experience camp for the first time next year, or even returners going again, or even me going for the 6th time. But yeah, it makes me so excited just knowing that so many of you are so excited for camp. And even I've had people saying like they're so excited for camp but they're not thinking of going to like 2027 and things like that. Is just amazing to me that so many people are thinking so far ahead and just getting so excited for camp. But yes, sorry, a bit of a ramble there again, but yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video and it's just given you a little bit of an idea of what a day in the life looks like at my camp. And yeah, if your camp is any different, please leave me something down below, because I love, like I say, finding out about different camps. And obviously every camp is slightly different, because there's some day camps, there's obviously session camps, there's camps that have like time off at the weekend, so things are so different. But yeah, that's kind of how a day in the life looks at Tyler Hill, which I am already itching to get back and have a day like it. Genuinely, I was watching some of my vlogs back and I'm like, oh, I just miss it. I miss it so much. But yeah, if you have any videos that you want to see, camp related, travel related, I'm literally only in Sydney for like a week and a half now, and then I go off to travel the East Coast, which is I can't believe it. But I am going to vlog my whole journey on the East Coast over on TikTok and here on YouTube, because I'm just so excited to document that. And I've also been watching back my like summer camp travel vlogs, which are coming out soon, like they are scheduled to go, and it just makes me so happy to look back on that and have the memories and see it all. So I'm really excited to bring you along for my East Coast trip. I know it's a little bit different kind of content to what I normally post, obviously not being camp related, but a lot of people have said they want to see some Aussie content, so that's really exciting. And I'm only in Australia up until the start of December, so I want to make the most of getting as much content as I can whilst I'm out here, because I don't think I'm going to be back until the end of August, which is crazy to think. But all of that can change, and when I'm in this travel lifestyle, everything changes all the time. But that's where I'm at now. But yeah, sorry for the long ramble, the long outro, but thank you so much for watching as always. I am so grateful for each and every one of you, and I love the fact that I do feel like we've got this little summer camp community formed, and it makes me so excited that I'm able to share my experiences and my journey with you guys who are thinking about going to camp, because it just makes me so happy. Honestly, it really does. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.